Well, hello, my students. I tell you what, if this morning was on a day we went to the school building, I'd have to think about calling it off. I can't believe what's gone wrong. But anyways, here are the answers to the homework that was due last night. And I have to say I was impressed. All but just 3 students didn't turn it in from the high school. And 5 kids from the grade school. 4 of them was from the elementary school. Shame. But it won't affect your grade that much. Now, for my elementary schools, my 7th and 8th graders, high school, cover up your ears. My elementary school kids, I don't have a grading program for you guys, for your parents to look at, so I want you to do this. Sometime today, I want you to have your parent email me with their email address, and just all they have to do is put their name, say they're the parent of, and then your name. Then I will send them back by tomorrow your current grade, which might be something nice to have. And if you do that by 10 o'clock tonight, I will give you 5 extra credit points. Now, my high school kids, if you complain, we'll use their grading scale, which is 92 as a B. So if you want 92 to B, I'll give you that 5 points. So I'm giving them a little break because they have a harder grading scale, but I also got to get them a progress report. So by 10 o'clock tonight. Now, if you forget to do it tonight and do it tomorrow, that's okay. I still need it. But anyways, here's the answers to the homework from last night. So if you got that, good. If not, you can always email me and I can make a special video. Remember, law of cosines, which this year you don't have to remember, is really just plug and chug. That is all it is. And it's always the angle that's opposite this side. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, the one that you're doing, cosine c. So it's Pythagoras, and then minus a little extra. Then law of sines is a sine of the angle over the opposite side equals sine of the other angle opposite side. Or you could do sine c over c would work too. Okie doke. Anyways, today we're going to do 2 things and they're both memorization. Now you'll say, Mr. Murphy, you can't give me pop quizzes, ah. Well, you're right, I could. Normally in high school we would have, 2 a week for the 4th quarter. But the first one is, there's 2 triangles that have nice numbers as sides. So we actually use those. Now you say, well, we got a calculator. Yeah, but sometimes you want the exact value. So my hope is by Sunday you have this memorized. And that's this. What's the sine of 30 degrees? Well, sine, here's 30, is opposite over hypotenuse. So that would be a half. 45, another important triangle. 30, 60, 90. The smallest side opposite the smallest angle is 1. Then the hypotenuse is always double that. Then this is always the square root of 3 of the smaller side. You'll use this in geometry next year. That's why it might be good to get it now. 45, 45, 90. These have the 2 same sides because they're the same angles. So 1, 1, and this square root of 2 if you use Pythagoras. So sine of 45, well, you find 45, it's opposite over hypotenuse, which would be 1 over the square root of 2. Then if we rationalize, which some teachers make you, some don't, you multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 2. So either answer for my class, I like this one better. And then 60, you come back here, opposite over hypotenuse would be square root of 3 over 2. Then cosine 30 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it would be square root of 3 over 2. Sine and cosine would be the same with 45 because they're the same angle. So 45 is adjacent over, so it would be 1 over square root of 2. Or square root of 2 over 2. And cosine of 60 Here's 60. Adjacent over hypotenuse would be half. So notice sine as it goes through gets bigger, cosine gets smaller. Interesting. 1/2 square root of 2 over 2, square root of 3 over 2, cosine square root of 3 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, 1/2. Then tangent 30, tangent's opposite over adjacent, so that would be 1 over the square root of 3. But if you rationalize, it'd be square root of 3 over 3. 45, opposite over adjacent would be 1 over 1. And then 45, back to 60. We already did 45. Wake up, Murphy. Is square root of 3 over 1. So memorize those 9. Now the reciprocals, cosecant of 30 would be 2. You just flip it. Cosecant of 45 would be 1 over square root of 2. You just flip it. So, but I'm only going to make you memorize these 9. Most years I make you memorize all 18. So get those down by this weekend. You'll need them. Please. Please. I guess I won't do that again. Now, the next thing you're going to have to memorize is working in the Cartesian coordinate system. What they did is they took a point, x, y. So they took that point out here and they just connected it with a segment and dropped a perpendicular. So we have a right triangle. This side would be x because that's the distance, how far you're going to the left, right, or up, down, depending on where you're at. Oop, I just froze. Sorry about that, it froze on me. Then from here to here would be y. So what would the distance from the origin to this point be? Figure it out, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out. Good, it's Pythagoras. So it'd be x squared plus y squared. And they gave that r, so it'd be r squared. They gave it r. And it has to do with, when you draw this, the radius of the circle was what that is. But anyway, so what would sine be if this is our angle? So we're going to use a little Greek letter alpha for the Cartesian coordinate system. Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Well, the hypotenuse would be r, because this whole thing is r squared. So this would be y over r. So what's cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse, which is r. So that would be x over r in the Cartesian coordinate system. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so it'd be y over x. So in class, at the start of every class, I'd be saying, okay, let's see, Mr. Cinda, what sign? And you'd say, oh, yes, Mr. Murphy, it's y over r. Then I'd say, Ms. Bustamante or Mr. Bustamante, depending on what class I'm in, depending. I'd say, what's cosine? You'd both say, it's x over r. And tangent is y over x. And that's what we're going to do to graph, but that's going to take us a couple days to get there. Now, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So if sine is y over r, then cosecant is r over y. Cosine is the reciprocal of secant, or secant's the reciprocal cosine, so it'd be r over x. And cotangent's the reciprocal of tangent, so if tangent's y over x, then cotangent is x over y. So you need to memorize those by Sunday. It's greatly going to help you. So the radius is this side, x, y, x, y, r, but you find this using this. So another way to do it is r equals the square root of x squared plus y squared. And remember, it's positive because it's a distance. So 2 things to memorize by this weekend. Please have your parents help you. 30, 45, 60, you need to know those or you're going to have trouble. And you'll say, I'll use a calculator, but I know you're using a calculator because these will all be approximated, and then I know it's wrong. It's not exact, it's approximated. memorize them, and memorize these. That's all I'm going to have you do today is memorize. So I'm not adding any more to your work, and tomorrow I'll make it light and so you can just practice these 12, well, more than that, 15, I guess, 15 items. Please, please, please. Thank you very much. And my 8th graders and 7th graders, don't forget, email by parent, 10 o'clock tonight, so I can give them a progress report. Notice we still have 5.5 weeks, so don't panic yet. Bye-bye.